documentary has done more, and I mean more, right? Let me start over in case y'all didn't. Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if you are Diddy, you will finally realize you are never getting out on parole. You are never getting out on anything. You guys, in 24 hours, the massive campaign that Diddy waged, that even put me in the crosshairs. We'll talk about that later. Let's not forget, during the trial, I had 40,000 people in my live. True. 39,999 were probably tuning in to see if I was going to get beat up. But when I say that the Reckoning on Netflix has single-handedly changed the narrative and exposed Sean Diddy Combs for not just who he is, but what he is, which is a double. You guys, I have exclusive behind the scenes. As you know, I was involved in the documentary. I have exclusive behind the scenes, but we're also going to, and don't worry, it's spoilers, but you can still see the documentary. We're also going to get into an episode recap, the top most 20 shocking things, and we're going to talk about the way that we, not me, we, you and me, were vindicated. We're going to talk about the way we were vindicated. You guys, now I know y'all already know this because y'all watched me actually during the trial. You saw what I was doing, okay? For the first time in my life, I really saw what my dad meant when he said, sometimes you got to stand on business, even if it means standing alone. And baby, stand alone, I did. But what that documentary did was expose all the bottom feeding lowlifes that were on Diddy's payroll. And by payroll, we're also going to talk about those goofy jurors. Because if you guys don't remember, I did a live fresh from the courthouse where I was talking about Ponytail. That's my nickname for her. I was talking about Ponytail and the way she was acting a fool in that jury. And I am so surprised. And even that India man, I am so surprised at the way they got on Netflix and showed their ass proud. The one hand can't clap the other. The Indian man, the misogyny, the disgustingness. Yo, somebody check his wife and loved ones because I don't believe that they're not walking around safe. Also, we're going to talk about Ponytail, the juror that was a super fan and is sitting there with this smug smile laughing. Why were we vindicated? Because remember how there was a big PR smear effort that now we can see it was pretty much financed by Diddy. Remember when he said, give me the dirtiest of the dirtiest, the lowest of the lows? Well, half these people from the manosphere on YouTube, baby, they did it, okay? Shout out to the people that actually stood on business. We're going to get into the recap, but let me just say this. Shout out for the people that actually stood on business and didn't take the Diddy payout, which, as we can see, Diddy don't even pay. Shout out to Ticket TV for standing on business, for doing research, for being an advocate, not just for Black women, but all women and all victims of abuse. Ticket TV stood on business, even if it meant standing alone. So many people stood on business, and so many people that when this actually started, they were on the right side and they crossed over because at the end of the day, they didn't care who was right or wrong. They just wanted to be on the winning team. And like life has shown them, you're on the losing team because you are a loser. Again, we got to take a victory lap because it is crazy. It is crazy. It is crazy that it's like everybody that stood on business lost so many opportunities. That mess you saw in the documentary about Diddy blackballing people in the industry clicking up, and now look at everybody's running scared. I didn't know. Joe Button, he seems horrible. The entire Breakfast Club. What? Diddy said what? Everybody's running scared because now nobody wants to be associated with the man that they spent the better part over 2 years bigging up, running interference, because that was their friend, right? But now that it's out, and 50 Cent ended Diddy's PR the same way he ended Ja Rule's career. Are you ready? And the game done told me. Anyway, right? Okay, so thank you so much, right? The thing is, let's get back into the Diddy thing. We now see through the documentary That remember when there was a big PR campaign, right? Tisa lied. Tisa lied. She lied about everything. She lied. I was in the courtroom. You guys are MFing liars. And now that the truth's out, and I'm not under an NDA, let's actually talk about it. Not one of y'all were in the courtroom. And you know who I'm talking to. Y'all was sitting there outside playing hooky. Like the bad kids that weren't educated in school. You didn't know what was going on. Ask somebody to read a legal document. Ask half of them to read, okay? They couldn't do anything. Why? Because they, I believe, were on the Diddy payroll and they were getting handouts and press releases. The same way Diddy's team tried to literally, to quote Foxy Brown's dumbass, spin me like a sucker and put me on the not even the payroll, because Diddy don't pay money. He gets taps on the head. He gets maybe, right? They tried to put me on the Diddy PR machine. And when I said no, and because I stood on business, they tried to destroy me. The same black men that tried to say, right, which is actually really so, the same black men that were lighter than me talk about I'm not really black. Just a dumbness and stupidity. Sometimes I would look and be like, who's gonna, sometimes I will say one thing the Diddy team called me. It literally removed a lot of stupidity out of my mouth. Because I'd be like, oh, shut up. Ain't nobody gonna believe that. And then people believed it. And I was like, wait, what? Dummies. Anyway, right? So listen, the same black men. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Hold on, we got a few super chats. Let me rant. Because I have something to say. Okay, and then we're going to get into the top 10 things, but let me just talk my shit. Hey, Bronco 305. Thank you so much for the super chat. And Tattoo MD said, loved your appearance. Keep it up. Thank y'all so much. Oh my God, Bronco 305. Thank you so much for the super chat. Bronco 305 to 954. So you moved from Miami to where? Is that Virginia? Anyway, and Tattoo MD, thank you so much. I appreciate the super chats. Okay, right? The same people that were sitting there spinning desperate because their demon king was telling them to dance, literally went on a full-on assault on a black woman. Funny thing, everybody cares. And all these dusty old women that literally the only value you can have to those misogynistic men was literally trying to dunk on me. That's what y'all get. Did he pick you? Did he choose you? Did you get that date? Did you get anything? Exactly. Right? The whole point of the matter is they all came together. Because Diddy's team saw that even though there were a lot of people that were anti-Diddy, I made sure I was there in rain or shine, and I made sure I showed up to the courtroom. And I sat in the main courtroom. Yes, don't get me wrong, the overflow room, if I had to, I would do it. But baby, I made sure I was there rain or shine. And I made sure my security was there too, right? And let's talk about it, right? The same people that literally, because they couldn't get me on Diddy's side, they couldn't get me to bow down and kiss the rings. Like I said, there ain't no access you can sell me. There's no movie review. I didn't even think you were that good of an artist. I thought Diddy's music was mid. And there's nothing you can offer me that would ever make me sell my integrity. And the same people that are silent now, that the world sees that were screaming, Tisa lied, I was in the courtroom and had things spinning left, right, and a third, while people that were smiling in my face, acting like one of my friends, were keying because they were praying for my downfall. And bitch, I'm still up. I know you hate to see it. Sorry, mom and dad, if y'all watching this, turn the volume off. It's going to be cursing today. Turn the volume off, right? Let me turn my phone to do not disturb, because I don't even feel like hearing it, right? The whole point of the matter is they all came together because they needed to discredit me, because I was the only person that was anti-Diddy and thought that all the victims were telling the truth in the courtroom. And I said, and remember how everybody said I lied? No, you lied. Because when the jury came out, they came out with that not guilty shit, and everybody was just like, oh, maybe she did lie. The documentary proves, by having those dizzy, dumb, morally bankrupt, in my opinion, jurors on there. Diddy didn't lose because he didn't win because he was innocent. He did not win because he was innocent. Everything I told you that happened in the courtroom, from the testimony to the sidebar, that dizzy juror, Well, apparently from the video. Literally talking about, he didn't influence me, but when I nodded, he was nodding, and he was like, "Do you see this?" And I was like, "Yes," like from the making of a band. That same juror that I rang the bell about literally came out so proud. Oh, well, a lot of things were said, and I was like, that didn't happen. Dizzy, it didn't happen because why do y'all think y'all had to be there from 9 a.m. to 6 and you only came out for a few hours at a time? Because there was a battle for the case being waged. There was a battle. And I know that sometimes I was very like hard on the prosecution, like, yo, you need people that's down with the culture, you need this. But now I'm hearing what those dumbass jurors said. They wanted Diddy off from the get. That juror ponytail was the same juror. I saw her. I did a live about it in real time, where she literally, when Nicole Westmoreland was doing the most morally bankrupt cross-examination I've ever seen, that literally was like, there was another girl in the front row and the guy that got dismissed. She turned around like, "Ah, do you see this?" Like she's talking to her, "Mommy, do you see this?" And she turned around and then Ponytail was like, "I told you she was lying. Mouth that out." This happened while the trial was going on. That girl was showing up and showing out. And I hope this proves, why are we vindicated? Because everything we said happened in that courtroom is God's honest truth. And the only reason Diddy got off is not because he was innocent. It's not even because the prosecution put on the bad case. It's because, as you can see, those jurors were corrupted. Those jurors were corrupted. And that girl, that dumb ponytail, in my mind, I think she wants to feel like the hero. She is proud of the fact that she got her childhood idol off. Oh, I'm not a fan, but yet you telling us every movement and everything that Diddy did, he was nodding, I was nodding. I was like, oh, do you hear this? Jurors are not supposed to do that. We now see that we were vindicated, and we, you, me. I realize there's no difference between the way I think and the way you think. I just am on YouTube running my mouth because y'all got like lives and bills and stuff to pay, right? I'm going to go down with the ship. The whole point of the matter is Diddy was not found innocent because he was innocent. He was found innocent because the jury was corrupted through inbred self-hate, misogyny, misogynoir, whatever you want to call it. That's why Diddy got off. And those jurors on the fall of Diddy, they prove it. We're going to go with more behind the scenes, right? They proved it. On top of that, right? On top of that, I find it odd that a man that goes everywhere was because see, everybody laughed, right? Everybody laughed when it's like, oh my God, and had something to say. Oh, Tisa must be because they mom, dad, turn the bell on. They're stupid. They're ignorant, and they're still losers. And you're still losers. You still forget about whether I would spit on you if your eyebrows are on fire. You know I wouldn't. I would literally throw Crisco on your face and watch that shit burn like napalm. But Diddy wouldn't even be seen with them. And I said that a long time ago, and it made them mad. But Diddy even proved in that documentary, being disgusted being around Black people. Diddy don't like the same men that were saying, she's not Black, she's not Black. You dumb lighter than me and less educated, but whatever, right? The whole point of the matter is these people, like I always maintained, Diddy would never be around you. You guys are too dirty, the dirtiest of the dirtiest to him. All those people out there, every one of them, every single one of them, from the dirty dreads on up, he would never be around y'all. And y'all still sat there and clapped for your demon king because you felt that you were seen. And Diddy's disgusted he even had to stand next to you, even had to talk to you, even had to even whatever. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something. What's up, Carrie? Carrie Johnson said, vindication, Tisa. And you got the last laugh to the Diddyist by showing up in the dock. Please. Y'all know I love getting a last laugh. Also, Lori. What's up, Lori? Welcome to the Title Tellers family. My whole point of the matter is you guys see it in the documentary. But I'm glad the world sees it. That is the #1 documentary in the US, and it's about to be the #1 documentary in the world, and 900 million people are going to watch that. Diddy sending out cease and desist. It ain't going on nothing. Netflix crossed their T's and dotted their I's. And at the end of the day, I love the fact that the documentary didn't do anything salacious. The documentary didn't have people being like, I hate Diddy. It wasn't personal. They came with receipts. Kurt Burrows, Diddy's former business partner, showed handwritten notes. When Diddy tried to be Tupac's friend, Tupac was like, already felt like the demon energy. Diddy requested that they rent cars from New York and have a couple of cars driven down to Nevada. Kirk Burrows, the former business partner, was like, why? That don't make any sense. Like, let's just fly. Diddy insisted on it. Kirk Burrows rented the car, a couple of cars. Diddy was plotting this, I believe. He rented the cars that had a secret compartment that Eric Zip Martin used to conceal the firearm that banged Tupac. You guys, this documentary sets it all out. They show what a sleazeball he was to Biggie. Kirk Burrows has handwritten notes where he talks about how Biggie renegotiated his contract. People didn't know back then, Biggie was mad at Diddy for stealing from him. He wanted to leave. He renegotiated his contract to a better contract, right? Weeks before he was banged. Then Diddy tried to make Kirk Burrows take out some of the pages from the business. And this is all in the documentary. And he has documented evidence. He has handwritten notes from decades ago. So you can't say, oh, you're just saying this now, right? That's why everybody that was formerly pro Diddy is sitting on mute or they backtracking. So what did he do with Biggie? Biggie renegotiated his contract. Diddy demanded that Kirk Burrows take out some of the pages from the contract and replace it with more favorable things. Basically, Biggie signed the contract, but Diddy wanted Kirk Burrows, to replace the contract that Biggie had signed with a new contract that screwed Biggie over. Kirk Burrows refused to do it. He was fired 90 days later. Fired. Diddy, there's so much that happened, right? He was fired 90 days later. But in between them, what actually happened? Biggie had renegotiated his contract into much more favorable. Now Diddy couldn't live off of Biggie's money because that's whose money he was living off of, right? Kirk Burrows was like, I'm not touching that contract. You're out of your mind. Biggie then they were supposed to go to London for a concert. Biggie was like, come on, let's go to London. Diddy was like, no, let's go to Cali. And there's literally video in the documentary of Biggie being like, yo, I feel like somebody gonna get me. Like I keep having dreams about it. Like my life's in danger. He literally forced Biggie to go out to California and perform for no reason. Just to go party for no reason. For no reason, forced them. And then Biggie ended up getting killed on that trip. And then when Biggie ended up getting killed, Diddy made a whole big thing about being like, yo, I'm gonna, and for you guys that haven't watched the documentary, this is only a teardrop in a bucket of life. This isn't even real tea. Watch the documentary, you'll see there's more. So anyway, Biggie's dead. That's bad enough. Lots of people can argue that Diddy caused it by forcing him to go out. Did he feel guilt? Did he feel shame? Maybe, because he went on this whole big thing saying like, I'm going to pay for Big's funeral. It's on me. And it was the biggest funeral that New York, Brooklyn had ever seen. Everybody knows how much the Northeast loved Biggie, right? And then Kurt Burrows was like, when Sean saw, that's what he called him, when Sean saw how big the funeral was getting and the cost, that's when he said, yo, no, because Kurt Burrows handled all the accounting. And everything's in handwritten notes. That's when he demanded that Biggie's costs be recouped and that Biggie pay for his own funeral. He let the world and made a whole thing about the way he paid for Biggie's funeral. He made Biggie pay for, and what is the recoup? I talked to my girl, Tiffany Red. Shout out to Tiffany Red. Shout out to Tiffany Red. Shout out to Drew Dixon. Shout out to Ticket TV. Shout out to everybody that did the damn thing and stood on business. Even when that meant standing alone. Drew Dixon, she about to do a big one on Andre Harrell. Her case, I think, is coming up in January in the Southern District of New York. She about to do her big one too. The time for reckoning. Anyway, the recoup costs. So Tiffany Red, she has the thing for development of artists and fair treatment of artists and trying to eliminate sexual harassment, trying to eliminate like what Biggie did to artists, like Diddy did to artists exposing. Anyway, let's go back to the recoup. So Tiffany Red said recoupment is the bane of every artist's existence. When you think you signed this contract, they charge you for this, they charge you for that, they charge you for this. So before you get a penny, you are basically paying back like your life's blood. From industry insiders said that was such a low down thing to do, to make a dead man that's supposed to be your best friends, who you literally basically forced to be in a position that put his life in danger. Now, we can argue whether he didn't care about Biggie anymore because he couldn't make any money off of Biggie anymore. We could argue about maybe he's just a stone cold narcissist, that just don't care, right? Move people around. Anyway, he made Biggie pay for his own funeral. Biggie's daughter years ago, but nobody wanted to listen to her, said that Diddy don't help that family with nothing. Biggie's mom don't seem to like Diddy at all. So then not only did he make Biggie pay for his own funeral, this is after Diddy already owns about 80% of everything that Biggie makes, because Biggie had signed a bad deal, right? And when it was time for contract renegotiations, the new contract hadn't taken over. So Diddy still has the same percentage that he had. So already Biggie's only getting maybe 20, 30% of all the money he made. And then out of that 20, 30%, the rest is going to Sean. And Sean is making the estate pay for the funeral that he said he did. But it's not over. After that, everybody wanted Biggie. Like his memorial, because after first Tupac, now Biggie. I guess the whole hip hop thing was just like, oh my God, this is like, we need peace in the Middle East. So anyway, after that happened, and after Diddy did that, Vibe was like, yo, we want to do a memorial issue for Biggie and his impact on the culture, blah, 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 blah. Diddy insisted that he be on the cover and not Biggie. He insisted. He literally used Big's death, who he claimed was his best friend, who he literally should have felt some type of guilt for putting your best friend in harm's way when he didn't want to go. Kirk Burroughs was like, Biggie didn't want to go. He wanted to go straight to London. He didn't feel safe. He didn't want to go. Diddy made him go. And you made him pay for the funeral. Then you let that lie sit out there, right? And then what did you do? What did you do? Every cover that should have been his, every memorial, even that song, I'll Be Missing You, you used it to catapult yourself to fame, just like I believe he used Kim Porter's death the same way. And now that I see what happened to Biggie, and now that I see what happened to Tupac, and it's laid out in that documentary, again, go watch it, because come to your own conclusion. But baby, they gave me enough evidence. After we saw that, now I want to know what happened to Kim Porter. Now I want to know what happened to Kim Porter. And no, I don't care what the damn kids have to say, because as we see in the documentary, Justin Baby Diddy, in a documentary, I think it was either Little Rod or Kirk Burroughs, I think it was Little Rod, that said Justin and Diddy were having freak-offs together. And you know what I will also say, right? Oh, like they're complicit. If Diddy was abusing women like that, if he was treating his best friends big and everybody in business like that, this man wasn't good to anyone. Kalina, I'll get back on point, but this is Kalina, who asked Diddy for $5,000 to help keep custody of her kids for somebody that got 20 million liquid assets. That's like somebody asking you for a nickel. And Diddy was like, yo, I ain't got it. I'm trying to do something. And then had the nerve months later to come and harass this woman to come help him. And the thing is, everybody around Diddy, listen, predators know who to prey on. They know who to do. Blake Clear's like, no, I'm still a friend. And I'm like, but the fact that she even felt like, no, but I'm still going to prove I'm a good person. Because Diddy gets in people's mind. This man is a piece of shit. And that's one thing I will say. Do you know why people pay so much attention to cheaters? Because as much as people want to act like it doesn't make a difference, somebody that is a pathological cheater, and if you see them cheat on their wife and you're laughing, guess what? They're going to cheat you in business. They're going to cheat when they can. Because the heart of a cheater, pathological cheater, like this is what you do. It's the fact that when you want something, you don't care how it affects anyone. You will put yourself first and your needs, no matter how wrong you are, in front of everybody else's, even people you swear you love and you'll protect. That's why people don't like cheaters. And somebody that will be violent and beat and take advantage and degrade and humiliate and just break them and treat them like an animal for women he claims they love. What do you think he's doing to his business partners? What do you think he's doing to his friends? What do you think you're doing? Again, Biggie sold the dream that a lot of abusive people want to believe. Okay, fine, I'm an abusive to you, but to everybody else, I'm good. No, you're a monster to everyone. You are a monster to everyone. And that's it. You're a monster to everyone. And let me just say this really quick, right? To all the men that wondered, why she got security, this and that, because my man loves me. And to quote Tiffany Ward, because I'm not a, you know what? No. Here's the thing. The fact that grown men tried to lay their hands on me. The fact that other grown, and you know what? And the thing that makes me mad is everybody else is not black. Close your ears. This is, we talking internal business. To the black men who literally laughed and was waiting for a black woman to be beat up and humiliated and put in a place. Bitch, you thought. You MFing thought. You MFing thought. Right? To the black men who literally was mad I had security and they couldn't touch me. Laugh, giggle. Oh, what else? She putting 20 on 10. Why should, what world do you live in that women can be treated like that? I don't live in that world. And neither does my security. Remember how we, why you got security? She putting 20 on 10. Look at that documentary. See how dangerous that man is. When I tell you my sources on Diddy were correct, and let me just say, I broke the stories on Diddy before the Southern District of New York even thought of bringing, thought of bringing an investigation around. I broke the stories on Diddy. I broke the stories on Jonathan Naughty. I broke I even broke the fact that he was under investigation. A grand jury had been indicted. These same men calling me liars. Everything came down, and now there is a doc proving everything I said. That man is dangerous. There's something wrong with him. And when he thinks no one's watching, he's fine to be like, oh, golly, Chuck. He turns murderous. He turns murderous. Watch the documentary. Watch the documentary. How has he not gotten a case? He's very good at what he does. How has he not gotten a bullet in his head? I guess he's very good at what he does too. But the thing is, it's like literally question why, making up lies. Oh, she was, and again, I get it. Because Diddy's people, the Diddiots, shout out to Kevin Farrell, the Diddiots, they like live in a land of no logic. So of course a dumb person is licking Diddy's balls is coming there telling their little followers who are like, you know, you got your dumb idiots licking your balls, right? Oh, Tisha was paid by the prosecution. Are y'all dumb? Do you know that if Diddy's team, who was literally, I would say payroll, but judging by the way, ain't none. Do you understand that if Diddy's team had even iota, that if anybody with a gag order on the term was being influenced, fed information, or paid by the prosecution, do you know that would have been a mistrial? And do you know that Diddy would have walked free? Now, I know y'all know it, but those stupid slime balls that were sitting there trying to do whatever, they knew their people were too dumb to do it because all y'all want to see is a woman get beat up. All y'all want to see is a woman shut up. All y'all want to see is a woman get on her knees. And do you know why y'all didn't say it? Do you know why? And do you know why they still hate me? Because the quote Tiffany did, because I'm not a weak ass bitch. I'm not. There is never anything that anyone can, and I'm not saying I'm perfect, but baby, there is never anything anyone can give me or sell me to ever sell my integrity. I will never stand for an abuser. I don't care if they got $1 billion. I don't care if they run the whole world. I guess we both gonna be broke. I don't care. I lost so many opportunities, so many potential deals, so many whatever, because again, Diddy's friends are far and wide in the media. And the reason why a lot of people, I think, thought it wasn't a big deal is because they was doing the same thing too. But you know what? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? The fact that there were so many people that were praising Diddy and his security. They were talking trash for me having security to protect myself when there were literally people trying to do me harm. And I didn't speak about it because at the end of the day, I'm not a weak ass bitch. You know, y'all wasn't going to see me crying. Y'all was waiting. Y'all was laughing. Y'all was hoping that at the thing, y'all would like what? Reduce me to tears? Bitch, get out of here. Right? They was praying and they was hoping. Wipe that smile off their face real quick. But, right? The point of the matter, but yet they didn't question out of why all of Diddy's kids, grown-ass men, had security guards with them. What they have security for? In the courtroom and out. For what? For what? For what? Again, Diddy's team, Diddy literally pulled off the con of the century, and I'm very, 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 very glad that Alexandria, Vanessa, 50, literally put an end to all of it. Everybody sees his nonsense laid out. Everybody. And the people that were literally going, ask yourself why, even with the Diddy trial, every single blogger, I became the subject of their thing. Now, we can reduce that to jealousy, hate, you mad, right? But those idiots weren't smart enough for that type of free thinking. They're not smart enough for a coordinated effort. And they couldn't have a coordinated campaign without somebody giving them marching orders. Again, why? All these men that were attacking, all these, well, what did you get from licking Diddy's balls? Did you get anything? You must feel salty. Did you get anything? Did you get anything? Did you get anything? And do you know why I'm so tough on these bloggers? Because the fact that they were Black men, the fact that they were men with the prostitute's heart. Y'all got a prostitute's heart, a prostitute's heart. But I can tell by your figures, you don't have a prostitute's bank account. So imagine having a prostitute's heart and no money to show for it. You got nothing for getting on your knees and licking that man. Let me shut up. My mom's blowing my phone up right now. Let me move on. Okay, God. All right, let me move on. Let me read this. Hold on. Listen. Okay. Indy, let's see. Ink Pixie says, love you, Tease. I love you too, Mama. Found you during jury selection. I've never left. You did a great job then on the Deca. Oh, thank you. Don't let anybody tell you different. Keep it up. Very proud of you. Thank you so much, Ink Pixie. No, listen, I'm finally glad the documentary's out. I can save my peace. I didn't want to do anything to jeopardize the documentary. To tell you the truth, I didn't even know how I was going to be edited in the documentary. They could have had me looking like, hoo-ha. They could have had me as like the crazy blogger lady. So that's another reason why I kept my mouth shut. Because I was like, you don't know how somebody's going to portray you at all. I didn't know the direction they were taking. I had no idea. Like, they kept everybody in the dark. I will say one thing about that documentary, right? I think they were like moving locations like every few days. They had airtight security. And I am nosy, right? I tried to get it before. I tried to get the tea I could. Oh, that's crazy. So, who else gonna be in the documentary? Right. And what they say, you know me, I'm always trying to get like just a little bit extra, right? I just always want to know what's going on. They kept that mess so locked down. The security, every day or everybody, there was different locations. Security was tight. There was armed security. They did not play about that documentary because the word on the street is people were trying to shut that documentary down. Pow, 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 by any means necessary. They did not want that documentary to come out at all. But I don't even think Diddy knew how bad it was going to be with his own words and that own footage. You know what I'm saying? But I'll give y'all more behind the scenes about what happened. It was actually pretty funny. But hey, what's up, Valentine? You said, I love your title. I was with you all the way. I love you too. Thank you, Valentine. Live, laugh, love said, I love you, T. So you also been in receipts. Oh, thank you for being a member for 5 months too. Valentine, thank you for being a member for 23 months. Also, Indie Pixie, Ink Pixie. This dyslexia is kicking my butt. Welcome to the family. Belinda, Formosa official said they are cowards, Melinda. They are weak ass bitches. That's what they are. That's what they are. That's what they always were. They were bullies. And the thing is, I can respect a bully, but I can't respect someone that is not a free thinker and can't stand on business. Y'all bullies. Y'all literally saw and you thought I was going to be weak and you thought you could bully me out. And yes, this goes for Diddy's PR that tried to start a fight with me in the courtroom, right outside the courtroom, tried to start a fight with me, a literal fight. Her security's flanking me like that, like I'm about to jump. What? get the out my face, literally tried to start a fight with me, and she had security. And the grown men were closing on me while this bitch is trying to like literally embarrassing herself. Because the thing is, everybody saw it from the jump. Thank God, for whatever reason, when I was walking, I was so far away from her that when she tried to start the fight, people are like, what is going on? It looked crazy. I even walked up to her. I was like, are you okay? And she's like, mind you, this girl comes like right here on me. And I was like, do we have a problem? No, she's like, do we? And I was like, I don't know. Do we? And I was like, do we? But like, please don't let the sunny disposition fool you. But also, I'm not stupid, because at that point, I walked away. Now, listen, I can handle myself, but this is how I make my money. And I am too grown. My parents raised me too well at this day and age to be scrapping like I'm some alley cat in the street. But also, Diddy's team tried everything they could to get me kicked out of court. Remember all these dumb bloggers every other day? Tisatells got banned from court. Tisatells just got kicked out of court. Why were they doing that? Because their masters were telling them what to actually say, because they in the back end were trying to get me. And I think that whole argument outside literally, here's the courtroom doors, and it was literally in the elevator banks right next to it. I think they expected me, because people, for some reason, PR people, I don't want to say all PR people, but a lot of PR people, they look as like YouTubers as like, we're not worthy of respect. They look at it as if you are on YouTube or you're a blogger, you're automatically low intelligence. I don't know why. They act like you've never been anything. They throw you a penny, you're gonna be like, oh my God, a penny. They act like that. And I really think they thought that by trying to embarrass me in front of everyone, I was gonna come out of character and have to prove myself. Girl, this is not high school. It's really not. It's no. Case in high school probably would have knocked your head off your MFing neck. But come on, we are grown people. I will never let anybody take me, especially in a federal courthouse. Like, are you like? I'm not even on the street. I'm not fighting. Are you insane? Please, you know how long it took me to put gel on my hair? I'm not sweating my edges out for you. Please, like, get out of here, right? But I think in that moment, they thought I was, and that's why her security, the two men, were flanking me, ready to grab me, because they thought I was going to reach out and touch somebody. And meanwhile, I'm like, is this bitch on drugs? I literally was confused. I literally was like, is she on drugs? Right? They thought I was going to reach out and touch somebody. All because, and then when I did that, peep this game, then they could go and be like, I feel scared that you, because they were part of Diddy's team. There's a person on the team. There's a person on the team that I feel scared of. In the courtroom, I feel scared. She needs to be, and I would have been banned from the courtroom. And nobody's slow. I saw their game. When that stupid, old, pathetic man, right, was sitting up here tweeting lies about me, same way he was tweeting lies about Cardi in the Cardi B trial. When he was tweeting lies, I see one, because don't nobody know who you are. But second of all, I saw the game. You are working in coordination. You got to sit there and lick balls too. All these men on their knees licking balls, and the one girl that did, sorry, baby, I don't have to do that. Never had to, never will. You see what integrity will get you? You see what happens when you're raised as a man with a prostitute's heart? No. No. You got a prostitute's heart. And listen, let me stop, because I don't want to disrespect sex workers, because that's a valid job. So not a prostitute's heart, but you got a whore's heart. All these men that were in court going against me, y'all got the heart of a whore. You don't even get paid for it. You get spread open, bust down, lick, suck, bleh, and you don't even get a penny. So I apologize to the prostitutes, because you're doing what you need to do, right? We are pro sex worker. Don't want to shade anyone. No disrespect. I apologize. They got a whore's heart. Didn't even get anything from it. You just wanted to be loved, and you ain't getting nothing. Ugh, probably trying to audition to be Diddy's next freak all partners. Anyway, right? Miss Boss Diva said, I love you, TC, reporting on this. Thank you. It was impeccable, reliable from the moment. So F the haters. Exactly. Let me stop giving the haters so much. Whatever. But I have to take the victory lap, because it made me so mad, the misinformation, when people said that I was lying about the evidence the prosecution brought forth, what was going on with the jurors. And now this documentary actually does vindicate that Diddy didn't get off because he was innocent. He got off because the jurors also had the hearts of a whore, right? They had the heart of a whore. Anyway, sorry to if you are a sex worker or a prostitute. I didn't mean to put you into such bad company, right? But Diddy's team, when they tried to get me kicked out of court, every day they were trying to remember when all these people somehow got clips. Diddy's team was watching my lives like their life depended on it. And remember, they were putting clips. Tisa docs this person. Tisa docs this person. Tisa ain't docs anybody. And too bad y'all don't even know the law because y'all don't even know what lie. Like the fact that they made up a lie that I worked for the prosecution, was being fed prosecution, and prosecution was paying for my security. I know you so broke and such an idiot. You can't imagine a man, one, loving and respecting a woman enough, my man or my family, to give them protection. And two, you can't ever imagine having that much money. I'm sorry that doesn't exist in your reality. But the fact that if Diddy's team, if any of that was true, Diddy would have gotten a mistrial. They would have gotten off. The prosecutions literally would have been violating the judge's gag order and their ethics and principles. It's literally against the law. Do you understand how much everything would have? But anyway, they tried to give it all these people that were like finding on my lives, like 10 seconds. Oh, Tisa said this, Tisa said that. Where do you think they were getting it from? It was a coordinated takedown effort. And I remember the same PR person that tried to fight me and the other PR person from LA that flew in because the PR person that was on the ground was doing a horrible fucking job, right? When Diddy won, the way they strode by, like that, like they literally strolled by, like so, like, and giving me dirty looks. But you know what? I will say, when Diddy was sentenced, those bitches was looking at the ground. They was looking like it was a funeral. They were looking sad. I mean, I wasn't treating it like a football game. But if we are going to do that, I bet those smiles turned upside down. Ink Pixie said, you and BJ got straight up assaulted out there. The ish was scary. It was. And it was so disappointing that so many men were like, oh my God, she's pitting 20 on 10. Why would she do that? Bah, 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 bah. Because it's just sad. It made me realize there is literally a whole thing of men, gay, straight, and women, and the dusties that really want love for those men, but they wouldn't look at you. You know what the funny thing is? All the women that were trying to gang up on me and pull me down, right? And saying all, y'all was sitting there talking to these men that at the end of the day, if I had even winked or smiled at them, they would have ran over like little puppies. They wanted me so bad, like literally they didn't even know how to take it. It turned to hate. And I was just looking like, you guys are so stupid. They're never going to choose you. I will never choose them, but they're never going to choose you. Like, is that like the women that supported them and all the men, gay, straight, and in between, that literally act like it was no big deal. And then that's when I said, you know what? You know, it's like my mom said, you have to forgive. No, she said you have to forgive people. Every time she does that, I just roll my eyes. Okay, right? Whenever she talks about the forgive, she's like, you have to forgive people because when people react to you, when they don't know you, I know they saw me every day, but they didn't know me because I was polite to everyone, really nice. You know me, I like making new friends. I was actually kikiing with everybody. I like making friends. I like being around people. So that's in, and don't get me wrong, sometimes it has screwed me over, but in the long run, just keeping my heart open to people has never really, I always end up on my feet. So even if I like, you know, and a lot of y'all were warning, oh, watch out for this person, watch out for that person. And I listen, but thank God, by the grace of God, my guardian angels are always with me. And I always wind up on my teeth, on my feet. You know what I'm saying? But it was like with it, it was a crazy time. And it was weird because it was like a cyclone. Every day was like war going in there. The psychological, when they started linking up, when people thought that Diddy was going to win, so they start getting on Diddy's team, when they were doing this, when they were doing that. There was so much animosity. My mom told me, like, sometimes you have to forgive people. Like, there are really people in this world that, for whatever reason, they think there's not enough. They think that if I win, they lose. or if they win, I lose. And the world's not like that. You can win and I can win. You can lose and I can win. I can lose and you can, like, it doesn't matter. It's not like you're not handing over the same like whack-a-mole. There's enough for everybody. And like it was just sad. Like my mom was like, you just gotta forgive these people. Like this is the vibration they're on. To them, like it Diddy almost needs to make sense. Because if Diddy doesn't make sense, then what does that say of their lives? So yeah, my mom was right about that. It's like you gotta like not forgive people because like we never had any real conversations and I never showed them anything in my actions besides smiling. So like you just have to understand where people are coming from. You just have to understand where people are coming from. Shout out to BJ Investigate. She stood on the truth. Her and her husband. Shout out to BJ Investigates and her husband. Her husband, when I was filming on the very last day, he came over to me and he was like, Tisa, there's men over there looking for you. And I was like, huh? Because I was in the middle of like going live and stuff. And my security was like this. And he's like, no. I was like, no, I know. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, there are men. And I'm like, what? And he's like, no. And I was like, oh, no, that's cool. And he's like, no, they want to hurt you. They want to, he literally was like, I'm scared for you. Like, they want to hurt you. Please be safe. But he was genuinely worried. And when he saw all those men screaming, where's Tisa? Where's Tisa? And you can't see it on film, but there was a mob of people coming, men. And there were people with their cell phones out keying because they thought they was going to see me get my ass beat, right? And BJ Investigates' husband, or, what was, going on, but BJ's Investigates husband was like, yo, like he let me brace for the thing because like even though I had no idea the hate that was coming, because he'd even put that out there, he literally let me brace for what was coming. And BJ did too. So thank you so much, BJ, and her lovely husband. I don't want to call him Mr. BJ, but because I don't know how to say BJ's last name, but Mr. J. Thank you so much. So anyway, let's get back into the shocking things that happened in the Diddy in the Netflix documentary, The Reckning. Okay, so this isn't going to ruin it for you, but I think that you guys do need to know this, right? Let's see. Oh, so okay, so how did the filmmakers end up with the hotel footage of Diddy the days before his arrest? Okay, so Alexandria Stapleton and Vanessa both say it came to us. We obtained the footage legally and have necessary rights. One thing about SeanCombs is that he's always filming himself, and it's been an obsession throughout the decades. Okay, so a little inside tea. This is what my sources are saying that it happened. Okay, Diddy don't like to pay anybody. All right. And that's just what I'm hearing. Diddy don't like to pay anybody. Same way Little Rod literally got Diddy's house raided pretty much because Diddy didn't want to give him 30,000. Apparently, Diddy thought he was going to beat these charges. And he thought he was going to one up 50 because 50 Cent said he was making a doc. Diddy was went to Netflix and a bunch of yo, I'm going to make my own doc too. This is when he thought he was getting off. So he had done all this footage because he was going to use it as a victory lap and to show all the people that tried to take him down, right? I'm still here. Shout out to Tisha Campbell, right? That's what he was going to do. However, when Diddy got arrested and when he was denied bail and when he finally saw that this was some real shit, because he thought the lawyers were going to get the charges thrown out. Don't forget, he was allegedly in Harlem paying off witnesses, making sure people got quiet, making sure everybody that could have said something about him was comfortable, right? That's when he realized, yo, this shit is serious. And the people that got the footage, instead of paying the people for their work, Diddy was like, fuck it, I did you a favor, right? This was Streets are saying. Diddy was like, I did you a favor. No, there's no more doc. What you mean? I would have paid you if the doc got done, but there ain't no more doc. Get out of here. Diddy still thought he was Diddy, that he was running stuff, that people feared him, not respected him, but feared him. And he could do anything he wanted to anyone, screw somebody out of a basic year of their life, not pay anything. And he just left them with the footage. And he thought he was so big and bad, He didn't even have them under NDA. He didn't have Little Rod under an NDA either. And Little Rod was filming his own life at Diddy. Diddy was telling him to film it. Diddy always tried to extract from people for free. He never paid people their worth, ever, right? He always tried to extract, at least this is what I see. Tell me if I'm wrong. And they had the footage. And Netflix knew that he was going to do a doc, or people did, because he had been pitching it to things, and they bought the footage. Diddy was being, that's what I heard. It's really that simple. They bought the footage because Diddy didn't want to pay somebody for their time of filming for over a year. He literally, the same way he had Little Rod working for 2.5 years, didn't want to pay him and didn't want to pay Little Rod. And then told Little Rod, all right, fine, for 2.5 years of work, I'll give you $29,000. And he never even paid that $29,000. So he basically, when he was like thanking God that they won an Emmy, they were nominated for an Emmy or a Grammy or whatever for the Love album and this and that, he didn't pay Little Rod, who basically produced like half the album. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. So if you're wondering where it is, they want to make it seem like, oh my God. Oh, I will say one thing. Diddy, The Reckoning is #1 in America. It's expected to have 900 million views. Please go watch it. Like when I say you think you know, but the way they lay it out. And again, they don't shove it down your throat. They lead you to lead your own conclusion. I'm telling you the conclusion I got out of it, but it's like illuminating. But the whole point of the matter is, there might be a part 2 or a part 3. They might branch off. They might, because again, and Diddy got that Shreveport, Louisiana, so you know what it is, right? Anyway, they said that, oh, hold on, let's get into this. Oh, what are those journal entries we see throughout the documentary? Among the exclusive material shown in the documentary, the co-founder of Bad Boy, Kirk Burroughs, we're going to do a little deep dive on him. I'm hoping we can get him on the channel, who took handwritten notes while on the job and managing Bad Boy, right? Financial and managing, as Burroughs alleges, financial aspects of Sean's personal life. And all that came with it. They had handwritten receipts from over 25 years ago. Yo, that's the thing with Diddy, why they say, I believe, why they called it The Reckoning, which was a great name. Because at the end of the day, everything that Diddy has done, everything he did to everyone, it finally came to pass. Every person he had screwed over, from Kirk Burroughs on down, finally it came to pass. And there was someone with a ledger, Alexandria and Vanessa and 50, of course, he bought it. They stood there. They stood there like they were Michael and Gabriel guarding the gates of heaven, letting no man, literally, the eye, a camel in the eye of the needle. Diddy? Okay, so there's more. Hold on. So some people ask, why weren't some of the most famous artists and celebrities from Diddy's orbit in the documentary? Musa. They said extreme efforts were made to contact as many people as we could. I've had many off the record conversations. There are some people who I've been able to talk to verify and fact check certain pieces of information, but they did not want to do an interview. The reasons were vast. There was a lot of fear. Diddy's tentacles spread very wide. And I think a lot of people want to put this behind them. A lot of people are really struggling with being so connected to his legacy and want to be independent of that. And some of those reasons I will never know. They said we also reached out to SeanCombs' legal team for an interview multiple times, but we didn't hear back. No, that's right. Now, who was in there? Just to let you guys know, Aubrey O'Day was there. She actually has some really sad stuff to say, even about like what one lawsuit has to say. Kirk Burroughs, of course, you guys know, the co-founder. The Jurors, I think it was 60 and 175. They were both dizzy bitches. And yes, it was a man, and he was the biggest bitch of all. You know, the fact that you are so clueless into how disgusting and filthy your mind is, that you don't even realize that what you're saying is absolutely deplorable. I remember I was watching that guy, the Indian guy. Nah, One day she was beaten up, the next minute she was back. Hand count clap without two people. You need both hands to clap. You dumb dizzy. Oh God. I feel sorry for whoever's grandma he probably been beaten on for how long. I don't know if he has been, but he displays the mindset of an abuser, right? He even said that like you can't have it both ways. You can't have a life of luxury and not pay for it. Just disgusting. And then the goofy juror, Diddy was nodding, and I was not. She thought that girl thought they were friends. She thought he was friends. She thought he was friend. And and the thing is, people are like, "Oh my God, Diddy might have paid the jury off. Diddy might have paid the jury off." I don't think Diddy had to pay anybody off. Those goofy asses, they did it for free. They did it for free. Joy Dickerson Neal, an alleged victim and former acquaintance of Diddy. Do you want to hear one important thing? So I have heard, I'll do a separate video about this, but you guys are the first to actually hear this, okay? And it's very important that you guys hear it, all right? There's another investigation going on with Diddy, and it is a criminal investigation, all right? Diddy and Conrad Murray, they're the subjects of the investigation. So my sources are telling me. And it's from one of the women who claimed to have been raped in the Diddy, the Reckoning. There is some sort of investigation. It might even be a grant. I wouldn't know. But there's some form of investigation going on. Oh, we'll leave it at that. I'll do a video about that with more information, but I do believe that there may be more charges coming for Diddy. And if there's not, then I mean, we're gonna really see if he's God's favorite. You know what I'm saying? We listen, we are going to see. Let me jump into these super chats. Oh my gosh, Seymour. Woo! Seymour 8300. Thank you so much for that generous. Seymour 8300. Thank you so much for that generous super chat. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you. Also, Noise Like said, please keep going. Diddy is totally guilty. The things he did to Cassie are horrible. Noise Like 123, I completely agree with you. You go on to say, Diddy is a weak ass bitch, just like all the women and men that support him. I agree. I agree. Thank you so much, Noise Like 123. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm gonna try to see if I can interview Kirk Burrows. Hold on. This is my parents. Okay, I'm gonna try to keep it PG. I'm gonna try to keep it PG. Okay. Kales, you're right. You said if he walks in public now, who knows? He's probably more safe in prison at this point. I agree with you. I agree with you. I completely see more 8,300. Thank you again for that generous super chat. Yeah, I agree. I completely agree with you. I will say also, let's get back into this whole thing. Okay, so they had the jurors, right? They had D1. He's a former member of the Mansfield Crips. Eric Sermon. Apparently, he was a huge rapper and former member of a group called EPMD. Like around the he's like rap royalty, I guess. Like around like the whole. Who's that guy? Big Daddy Ken, something like that. And then like. Dun, 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 I reminisce. Do you guys know who that is? Listen. Do you guys know? Anyway, we'll figure it out. That's a good one. Maria said, Tisa, I'd like to know, how do Harlem people feel now that the documentary shows evidence of Diddy involvement in Biggie stuff? Exactly. Please interview his people that know Biggie paid for his funeral. You know what? I would love to do that. I wonder how they do feel now that they see that Diddy's an absolute horrible human being. And a lot of grace that they were giving Diddy was because people were just like, a lot of grace that they were giving Diddy, it's just because people were, um, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I guess they were giving Diddy grace because he seemed like a really good person. He's really good at hiding who he is. Oh, thank you, Big Daddy Kane and Pete Rock. It's Pete Rock and CL Smooth. Okay. Pete Rock and CL Smooth. Pete Rock, so Big Daddy Kane's the people that sings I reminisce for a spell, or should I say way back 25 to keep it on track. I heard that on whatchamacallit. It's trending on TikTok. All right. Oh, exactly. You mean Mount Vernon. Diddy from Mount Vernon. Okay. Listen. Somebody said everybody knows that this girl is getting paid by TMZ to defame Diddy. TMZ is ran by Diddy's PR team, Mark Garrigo. Again, you know what? I realize that Diddy's people, the people that defend Diddy, they really are the weakest link. Like, it's just stupid. Stupid. I don't listen. If you put me in a room with someone that just doesn't know something, I love that because you know me, I love to be able to teach, like sit down. So where do we start? So, when the Moors conquered Spain, right? Like I literally like to start from the beginning. So when the Moors conquered Spain, and let's take a bit. No, let's go further back. So Prophet Muhammad, right? The Sunni and the Shiites. Let's get down into it. I love to teach. I love to inform, and I love to give like the behind the scenes tea. Well, what you really don't know, right? And Prophet Muhammad's wife, right? But I can't stand a dumb person. Like my dad always said, stay away from people that are willfully ignorant. Because when you become a certain age, being ignorant is a choice. And when you are ignorant by choice, you are willfully ignorant. And that type of ignorance is dangerous because people will lie. It's impossible once you get to a certain age to have that level of ignorance. That means that you have fought to be that ignorant. You have lied to be, you will still kill to stay that ignorant. That type of ignorance is a choice. That's why when somebody, an old fool, stay away from them. They have fought their whole lives to stay that ignorant. It's actually very scary. It's very, very scary. But you know what? Whatever, right? So anyway, yeah, stay away from it. And that's where I feel like with Diddy's people, that like that old man, the juror, the Indian guy that was in the doc, that level of ignorance is scary. It's scary to me because I'm like, I don't know what you're capable of. Because the things you've done to maintain these blinders, yeah, you fought. Also, Brandy, what's up? What's up, Brandy? Said, Brandy Donari. Okay, there we go. I'm glad. Oh, thank you. I'm glad to. Oh my God, you guys! Everybody say happy birthday to Brandy. Oh, aloha from Kauai. Thank you so much. Is it Kauai or Kauai? Kauai. Okay, fine. Brandy, thank you so much. You guys, everybody send Brandy happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Today's your special day. Okay, let me stop. Everybody say happy birthday. Listen. Listen. So in any case, also they had William Lassane in the documentary. He is the cousin of Tupac. Mark Curry, a former Bad Boy artist. You guys know Mark Curry. Roxanne Johnson, she was the wife of Craig Mack. She looks so good. I will say one thing: the women from that generation, beautiful. Kalina Harper, Dirty Money. I will say I was always like calling Kalina everything but a child of God and saying she was stupid. And at a certain point, she kind of was because you did help run image rehab for Diddy. But it also made me look at her like, yo, you were one of Diddy's victims mentally. You were one of Diddy's victims mentally. And I hate that for you. I hate that you had such little love for yourself that a man that was a billionaire, you were a friend and he made so much money off of you. You asked him to help 5,000 to help keep your kids, that you a loan that you pay back, and he told you no. And you had such little love and regard for yourself and a need to help this man and prove yourself to him, that you ended up literally uh going to war for him and saying things that could have gotten you in deep trouble. All for, I don't know. It was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. Oh, William Livingston said Puffy had to go to the electric chair too. So I would have had a special live. Yo, Diddy ain't getting out of this for the rest of his life. This is going to become like the boogeyman. You better shut up before Diddy come. Right? For horror movies, people gonna be spraying baby oil around. What's going on? Diddy is never going to be able. And you know what? I wonder how the people. I'm trying to get some people, some feelers at Fort Dix to let me know, like, how's Fort Dix responding to this documentary? What's going on? I think that this documentary, the one thing it did is it kissed Diddy's chances of getting a Diddy can kiss his chances of getting like a pardon. Like, I believe that's over. What's going on with this light? It's really bothering me. I think that the chances of Diddy getting a pardon are like pretty much done. I don't think Diddy's going to be ever able to get a pardon. Like, to get a pardon, you cannot be universally hated. Diddy has literally turned in to our generation's OJ Simpson, but not really. Because with OJ Simpson, there was still some type of reasonable doubt, because if the LAPD hadn't been so racist and hadn't been so dirty and hadn't tried to frame OJ, maybe they would have gotten him. But then again, maybe not. Because honestly, like, who knows what the truth is? Because they polluted the pool so much. So there still is kind of like reasonable doubt. But with Diddy, there ain't no reasonable doubt. There is no reasonable doubt. Thank you, William Livingston. And Ink Pixie said, Mama Combs, GD Diddy is a lot. Yes, we need to look into her because she's sketchy. Oh, so you know what? Thank you, Ink Pixie. And thank you again for the super chat. One of the most amazing things that happened in that, which was really sad, is one of Diddy's friends, I think it was Tim Patterson, who kind of like, I think he lived with Diddy or he kind of grew up with Diddy. Tim Patterson actually said, and it moved me to tears. It was that sad. He talked about the horrific abuse that Diddy suffered at the hands of his mom, and how it terrified all of them. It terrified all the kids. It terrified everybody. It was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. You know, listen. It was a lot. It was a lot. And again, it's not to make an excuse. It's only to better understand. It's not an excuse, but it's only better to understand. But again, this was my issue with Misa that went on live and all this stuff, and what issue I have with everybody from Diddy thing. Like, you cannot benefit off of that man. But then when we're like, yo, so what happened? Well, who knows? I don't know nothing about that. You can't do that. You can't do that. Like, you're either tied to his legacy or you're not. Anyway, who else was in there? Brooklyn Babs was there from Making of the Band. She looks so good. You know what? Let me say something about Brooklyn Babs. When she was on Making the Band, Brooklyn Babs just had this way about her. She had like the most beautiful face, the most beautiful eye shape, but there was something about the way she moved and the way that she talked that just drew you in. Like, it was just something so musical, melodic, and you saw the way she moved. Like, she was very mesmerizing, right? Brooklyn Babs. And you see her on the documentary, and you're like, Babs still got it. She looked so pretty. She looked like a little baby doll. She's like, and then she had her thick Brooklyn accent. Something about Brooklyn Babs, like the way she talked, the way everything. It was just, it was a lot. She looked just as beautiful, but I'm like, wow, she's still just as, anyway, hold on. Okay. Also, hold on. Okay. Also, uh, they had Clayton Howard on. He's a former sex worker allegedly employed by Diddy. Are none of these men embarrassed? Are you not embarrassed? Are any of them embarrassed? Do any of them have any pride? Do you? Oh, God. Let's move on. They had Quanell, Q Mosley. Oh, Q. I'm like, who's Quanell? They had Q for making of the band, the member of Day 26. Now, here's the funny thing. Do you know where I think this documentary, now that Alex and Vanessa are doing the damn thing and 50 probably got like even more money from Netflix, they should do a Diddy and do it from the point of the artist he signed. Because one of the things that all the people like to say is, oh, Diddy helped the community. He did this, he created a legacy, black artists. Blah, blah. No, we need to actually talk to the artists he signed and actually found out the horrors they had to suffer, the indignities, the poverty, the brokenness, like the degradation, like who Diddy actually truly was. You know what I'm saying? That would be a great part two. Get all of Day 26. So they also had Brian Andrews. You remember Willie Teller and Robert Curry. They were making of the band contestants, and they were also members of Day 26, right? Then they had Greg Kading. He was a former LAPD detective that was looking into Tupac's death. And Derek Parker, the former head of NYPD Rap Intelligence Unit. And of course, last but not least, Capricorn Clark. They also had Roger Bonds in there. You know what? I've been critical of Roger Bonds in the past, right? And also to a certain extent, Capricorn Clark. And I will say that, and they had Tim Patterson, he was like the best friend and all this other stuff. I will say this, they took accountability. They acknowledged that they danced with the devil, and they acknowledged that they helped the devil. But then they also acknowledged why, and you empathize with them so much, and you realize that whether you were a willing victim or not, everybody around Diddy was a victim. Everybody got mentally abused, everyone. Which is to say that I don't believe that someone that does that to everybody around him so cold hearted, that did that to Biggie, I don't believe he's a good father. I don't believe for a second that abuse didn't seep in to every woman and anybody that went against him, whether I was man, woman, child, dog. I just don't believe it. You can't tell me. You cannot tell me. You can't tell me. Oh, also, so so they also talk about in the first episode, I think that's when they talk about the tragic stampede at City College. And they even have footage of Diddy walking around as there are like dead bodies around and people are injured. And the one thing that I took away from that was, from even that old footage, Diddy didn't care back then. So you could tell that was like, damn. Like it's like he wasn't upset from like the loss and the hurt. He would be like, oh no, what am I gonna do? And then they told the story that I think it was Tim Patterson, no, or maybe it was Kirk Burrows. One of them was telling the story of Diddy was in like, damn, what am I gonna do? Not caring about the loss of death or anything, but like, yo, what am I gonna do? This is my first big event. I put a lot of money in it. Like, this is before they even knew whether he would get charges, because the promoter did pack the place. And when it was time for like the stampede, they shut the doors, and that's how a lot of people got stampeded. Anyway, apparently Janice Combs was like, like, what are you doing? Like, you did all this and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And Diddy literally slapped the shit out of his mom and called her a B. Again, Diddy slapped the mess out of his mom and called her a B. Now, when that happened, I said, I just know that if I had slapped the mess out of my mom and called her a B, and people witnessed it, y'all would literally see me, literally, on a commercial, RIP, in the arms of an angel far away. The last thing I would have remembered seeing would be my face making contact with the wall. That would have been the last thing. My face is making contact with a wall. This man called his mama a bee, slapped a mess, and people were watching. I said, I, if that had happened and it was one of my friends, first of all, I would have been like, yo, what? Don't talk to your mom like that. But if that had happened, but before I even said that, I just would have been sitting there scared, knowing they are about to die. The level, if somebody is willing to treat his mom like that in public, it's bad enough private, but the level of craziness to do it in public, you get what I'm saying? You're already crazy. But to do it in public, baby, you are Hannibal Lecter. You're silenced. Like you're a serial killer. There's crazy, and there's like I'm scared. I would have been scared that the last thing I would have saw was my face hitting the wall before I slid down. Literally, there would have been an RIP. People would have been putting teddy bears and flowers on YouTube's doorstep. RIP. T says she ain't deserve it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. So anyway, okay. And there's also Uptown Records, all this other stuff. They also talked about, I'll say, and then they talked about the rivalry between Diddy and Tupac, the way Tupac, oh, you know what's a funny thing, right? For a public enemy number one said, oh, what was more challenging, covering the Diddy trial or covering Love and Marriage Huntsville? I'll be honest with you. I Love and Marriage Huntsville. Remember Melanie Shari? She's no longer Holt, F Martell's last name. Because I always thought Martell was a little narcissist, and I felt so bad for Melody that everybody was covering for him. But I love covering Love and Marriage Huntsville, and I loved Melody. She was a great person. And Martell, he will pay for his sins. Toya KP said, where was Gene Deal? I was looking forward to hearing from him. I was too. I thought Gene Deal would 100% be in that too, but he wasn't. But if you guys want to hear more about Gene Deal, I did an interview with him. But Gene Deal wasn't in the doc for whatever reason. Maybe they didn't pay him. Maybe he didn't sign off. Maybe he's going to be in part two. But Gene Deal wasn't in the doc. I was disappointed about that. But Gene Deal's never been sued, and I 100% believe that Gene Deal is, you know, I 100% believe that Gene Deal's an actual, factual, very honest person and a man of integrity too. You know, I got nothing but good things to say about Uncle Gene. He's had my back, but even before he had my back, this man, he walks it like he talks it. He is again, they don't make him like they used to, right? He is a real one. He is a real one. He needs to start a class on how men can be men, right? There is more footage, Belinda. There's a lot more footage. Also, Truth from Treachery said, talk to the students he gave scholarship to. Did he actually? Well, let me just say this, right? I do not believe, based on court documents, letter to the judge, or anything Diddy listed, that he ever gave any scholarships to any students. I think he talked about it. Let's not forget that Howard cut ties with Diddy. Howard cut ties with Diddy after Diddy promised millions, and he never gave them a penny. Remember what he promised at the BET? He never gave them a penny. Howard cut ties. Diddy always said he was doing shit for the community. He never did anything for the community. Because if he did, he would have bragged about it, and he didn't. He did. It's like he lied about giving those 1,000 inmates in jail Thanksgiving dinner, right? He's just a liar. And for so long, he's been able to get away with it, right? Again, don't get me wrong. For some reason, every time Diddy opened his mouth and every time he said something, I could just see straight through it. Don't ask me why, but I could just see straight through it. Are you kidding me? And I would be like, is somebody falling for this? And they'd be like, wait, y'all fell for this? I can always just see through his shit. You ever see through someone and you don't know why, but every time they open their mouth, you're like, shut up, liar. I could see through Diddy. And I'm so glad that a lot of people could, But I think because like he fooled the masses, now that this documentary's out, he can't fool anybody anymore. And I think it was so easy to get away with those lies where because he was an expert at running interference, running this, running that. And now that all eyes are on him, he can't hide from who he is, you know? Oh, also, uh yeah, you guys have to see episode 2 when they get into the Biggie and Tupac stuff. Y'all, Keith D's trial got pushed back to 2026. I wonder if they're finally going to get Diddy. But then again, I think Keith D is still affiliated. And I don't think the Crips went that out, right? If they did, or maybe they don't care. Maybe it's time to cut Diddy close. Oh, also, right? There was they also went in. So remember how Diddy tried to make Diddy's team and lawyers tried to make Little Rod look like he was crazy. Where in Little Rod's lawsuit, he detailed a scene where he was in the bath, he was, making beats and he heard gunshots and he went to the bathroom. No, he was sleeping, he was making beats, this and that. And he saw Justin and Diddy go into the bathroom with this man. And he said he heard gunshots. And when he came out, it was only Justin and Diddy. And he said that, like, he went to the bathroom, there was blood everywhere. This guy had been shot. He don't know what the guy's name was, just called him G. And he had to run and get help and all stuff. I remember they called him a liar and they were like, oh, please, the police report says this, and it was gang violence. And Little Rod actually outlined, I remember in the live, I outlined it. And I did a little research too, that Chalice recording studios, because of what happens in the recording studios, people getting robbed, whatever, they have like Fort Knox security. So you go up and there is a intercom with an intercom and bulletproof glass. And you have to say who you're there for and what recording session it is. And then they call back to the recording session because there's multiple recording booths and they buzz you in. But once you buzz in, you're not into the recording area. Once you buzz in, you're now in like a holding area, bulletproof on both sides, locks and everything. And on one side, bulletproof glass, there's a receptionist, right? Behind bulletproof glass. And there's another doorway you have to enter. And you have to tell her again your name, what session you're there for, and show ID and all this other stuff. I think show ID and all this other stuff. She then calls back for, is it okay to let you in? They have to be verified. And then you're buzzed in. Once you're buzzed in, okay, I think either somebody comes to get you. Yeah, somebody comes because there's like a security desk or something. You have to go past that. And then as you walk in, there's like a long hallway and there's all these recording studios, right? And there's a long hallway that kind of goes to an L. And once you get to that L, there's a kitchen, kind of lounge, sleeping area, kind of communal area. And then there's a bathroom all the way in the back. You cannot get into Chalice Studios. You can't just walk in. Diddy's team and the LAPD and all the things tried to say that it happened 3 blocks from there. The guy ran all the way to Chalice recording studios, came in, found the bathroom and bled out. But that would be impossible because there would be a trail of blood and there would be, with the video surveillance and the intercom, you would see all that happening. And they said it was a lie, that never happened. There was a report, but it happened 3 blocks later. Little Rod, remember when he filed his lawsuit against Diddy and he said he had evidence of everything? They actually showed the video inside the bathroom, blood everywhere, tissue everywhere, torn clothes everywhere, blood on Little Rod. They showed the aftermath and they show that what Rod said, that somebody had gotten shot in that bathroom, actually happened. And this is after Diddy's team lied to us and said, oh, he made it all up. He doesn't have any proof. He had 100% proof. And he said when it happened so when they called the ambulance, he had to run out. He's like, what are y'all doing? He's over here. He's over here. The ambulance pulled up in front of Chalice, brought the guy out. He got him in. He said they don't know if he's alive or dead. They just know he went on the ambulance and that was it, right? And they never heard of him again. And he said Diddy and Justin literally told everybody, Justin does not come off good in this, literally told everybody, yo, you better not say anything. If anybody asks, this is what you say. So he said it was weird. Everybody's just like, okay. So they said what Diddy and them told. And he said after that, Diddy and Justin were just joking around, laughing like nothing ever happened. Nothing ever happened. And the next day they told everybody, you better keep your mouth shut. Don't say anything. And that's what happened. And he said when that happened, he was scared because if somebody can shoot somebody in broad daylight, pretty much, and walk away from the LAPD, just comes and like, oh, okay. And that's it. And then you look at a newspaper and they're like, oh, there was a gang related shooting 3 blocks down. And he said he called his security guy and Fahed to handle it, and they never heard of it again. And people wonder why people didn't come forward to testify against Diddy, a man that has that much power that you can literally shoot someone. You can literally shoot someone and get away with it. And your son did it too. Ink Pixie said narcissists never ever do anything for other people. They only do things that make them look good. If other people benefit, that's an afterthought. Yo, if other people benefit, that is an afterthought. But I will say this though, I think Diddy was like even on some more crazier shit, because if other people benefited, he would go out of their way to take the benefit back. He would go out the way to take the benefit back. That's how evil he was. Diddy was so evil. Even other narcissists were like, oh my God. Like, why can't they? Like, he was so evil. I think he made other narcissists clutch their like, what? Really? I think that's how evil Diddy was. Listen, the fall of Diddy was really I'm gonna try to see if I can get Kirk Burrows on. The funny thing is Diddy and his whole team, they went out of their way to literally, and the whole, yeah, you gotta support black men. You know who supported black men? You know who had black men's back? Me. That's who. When Little Rob was there, and everybody was trying to, I stood the good fight. I stood 10 times over. Tyrone Blackburn, the lawyer that Diddy's team tried to act like he was literally racist. Oh, it's an honor to practice law, and talking down to him because he was a young black lawyer. You know who stood? Me. That's who. It's kind of like Diddy has oppressed so many black people. He's tried to ruin so many black men. Since I know this, so I know the pick-me's and the Dusties, all you'll care about is a black man. He has tried to ruin so many black men's careers. He has ruined so many black men's lives. He's ruined so many people's lives, right? And the fact that people still want to rally around and throw the black community flag over Diddy being Captain Save-A-Ho. What did Diddy ever do for the black community except for steal from us, take advantage of us, rape us, rob us? What did Diddy ever do? What did he ever do? Now, of course, it is alleged whether he raped based off the testimony. That's my definition of rape. But, what did he ever do for the black community? What did he ever do? Be accused of rape? Be accused of being a degenerate? Being accused of being a pervert? Being accused of, according to his own children, first time sober in 25 years. Now, because our dad's in jail, he's actually involved and present. I guess so. He ain't got shit else to do. He can't ignore you, call a freak off, put some Tucci. He has nothing to do but listen to you, be like, oh, yeah, Kristen, your new song's really nice. Is Justin around? Also, what's really sad? Now, this is just my observation. The dynamics in Diddy's family, judging off of Diddy's own footage, I actually feel really sorry for Christian. Justin is clearly Diddy's back. First of all, well, in the stock, they didn't even see Quincy. I don't even think Diddy put anything in Quincy's name. I don't even, who knows, right? But when it came to Justin, he looked to Justin as like the smart one, as that, was always looking for him. Justin couldn't be bothered. Justin was sitting there like a little toad, just like, he looks innocent when he smiles, but there's a darkness that comes off of him, in my opinion. Christian was in his face, trying to get his dad's attention, trying to make his dad, I actually feel really sorry for Christian. I don't know him. I'm just sorry from when you just look at body language, he really yearns for his dad's approval. I think that's one of the reasons why he tries to imitate him so much. And I think that's also why during the trial, Justin wasn't making a fool of himself. Christian was making a fool of himself, trying to prove to his dad how much he loved him. I actually ended up feeling really, really sorry for Christian, really, really. really sorry for him, just based off of that body language alone. Hey, what's up, YM Droid? YM Droid said, still in episode 2 with the Pac Big connection, but I knew from the start your coverage you had the correct take. Yo, that Pac and Diddy, and thank you for being a member for 16 months, YM Droid. I appreciate you. We family at this point. I'll tell you, I honestly do think, yeah, there's so much mess. You have to watch the documentary. And the thing is with the doc, I binge watched it all the way through. I know what y'all said. Like, and here's the thing. Yes, I'm in the doc. I was very proud of that. But all jokes aside, I watched the doc like one time full, and now I'm going to watch it again because that doc, especially if you like to people watch, if you like to pay attention to body language, if you like to pay attention to like interfamily dynamics, because I feel like interfamily dynamics tells you a lot about the person. But it's not just a little footage. Diddy did his own self in. Like Diddy was his own. I wish to God they had shared that footage with the Southern District of New York. That ninja wouldn't have gotten out, right? But you have to, because it's a feast for the eyes, and it really is a psychological study or takedown. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to watch it again and again and again, because in the footage with Diddy and his family, Diddy and Justin, Diddy and Christian, Diddy and his assistants, Diddy, literally his friends that knew him saying Diddy isn't comfortable around Black people. Diddy don't like Black people. He looks at people from Harlem as like dirty, poor people. Diddy didn't grow up in Harlem. He grew up in Mount Vernon. He cosplayed being around Harlem. He stole from Harlem. And when he was done stealing from Harlem, he stole from his artists. When he's done stealing from that, he stole from the girls he was with. Their souls, right? But my whole point of the matter is, I do think this documentary is going to go down in the books, and each time you watch it, you're going to get something different out of it. Watching, like, that's how good this documentary is. Acoustic Fools at Tisa, I want you to do a deep dive about Diddy being an informant and an operative for 3-letter agencies. So listen, I have a bunch of I'm working on it now, but I'm trying to get some long form videos out for you guys that present the story. I mean, I know I love talking off the cuff. I hope you guys listen to me, but I do feel, especially I've been inspired by that documentary, how you can say things, right? And yeah, that's good. And you guys listen. I listen to people, but there is something about like taking the time and showing the evidence in a clear, concise manner, that makes us, that really, the documentary inspired me to do like more long form, where I lay the story out in a very concise manner, if that makes any sense. It's still going to be my same like personality, but more concise, because I was actually very shocked where a lot of stuff in the documentary I'd heard of or I knew or something or other, but I was very, very shocked in the fact that the way they laid it out, people were very like, oh my God. Like, it's almost like they were hearing it for the first time. Do you know what I'm saying? It's almost like they were hearing it for the first time. And rather than them having the pieces in their head, you laid it out, A, B, C, D, and F. And all of a sudden, because I don't care what anybody says, that documentary in 24 hours did more damage than the court case. It did more damage than Cassie. Well, do more damage than Cassie's testimony, but it did more damage in a different way. It did more damage in a different way. It made sure that Diddy can never come back from this. It made sure that I think it actually even got nominated for an Emmy, or it's going to be nominated for an Emmy. It made sure that, that we'll never forget. It made sure. And it really, really inspired me to dig more into storytelling, but instead of telling little bits of the story on this live or this live or this live, to literally lay things out in a concise manner for something that's like 20 or 30 minutes long, that literally lay it out, put the receipts, and then I can tell my narrative the way I want. It is worth the watch, right? Oh, who's this? Michelle MCK1 said, the bullet holes in both those cars, if you pay attention, they were intentionally to hit a target. True, not randomly sprayed throughout the cars. Those were targeted hits. I agree with you, Michelle. Yeah. 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 Oh, the luxury bucket list said, "It's so good. I remember when Big died, I felt like he was faking. I'm so mad now." So, you know what the funny thing is, luxury bucket list? Like, of course, I wasn't around when the Biggie thing happened, but I will say that, the Kim Porter shit, to your point, I always felt like Diddy was faking when Kim died. I always thought at the funeral he was being performative. I always felt that like there was always something. And that's when I first started paying attention to Diddy because he irked my soul. And that was the first time I was like, "Yeah, okay." And then I looked around, I'm like, wait, y'all are buying this? Even when he was like, I loved her black love. And I'm like, this man tortured Kim. This man was a demon incarnate. You really think somebody is beautiful, fine, cultured, sophisticated, and just a light of life as Kim Porter remained single her whole life willingly? Come on now. Come on now. You see what I'm saying? Um, oh, YM Jordan said the only thing missing was Yana when Mark Agnafilio started talking. You know what? That would have been nice if they had did the Mark Agnafiliana, but I think they were trying to be a serious journalist. They were probably like, I feel like I sat down with them and they were like, she got jokes. She got jokes. But yeah, Yimio, yes, you said you love long form content. Yeah, they've inspired me to actually get into long form content. Like they really did. Because I see like there is you of course you need a gift for it and I'll get better with it, but I do feel like there's something powerful when you put the story together in one central location instead of having it spread out. Because sometimes I forget that everybody's busy with their own lives, but if you put everything on one thing, it makes it impossible to look away. And if you do a good job of telling the story, you can really make your case and make people understand what you're thinking. So yeah, this documentary has inspired me. Yeah. Kat Sierra said Biggie's lyrics don't. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Definitely Team Tupac in the house. Exactly. Yeah, Kat Sierra said Long Farm is way better. I appreciate you. Oh, who said that? Ink Pixie said Kim's cassette was purchased before she even died. R.I.P. Kim. Exactly. And YM Joy said, Tisa, we count on you to be our unserious journalist. Helps to have some jokes when talking about him doing horrific stuff. Exactly. Seriously unserious. Oh, that's going to be my new thing. Thank you. Seriously unserious. Yes, I'm calling that seriously unserious with tisatells. Okay, there we go. Listen. Oh, Miss Ball Stevens said, as a Gen X, when Big died, I knew he was faking it. It never was genuine. And I knew he was scamming and grifting. And now this proves me right. Exactly. Lori says, that man, what's that from Hawaii? Said, that man is the devil. He really honestly is. Y'all are right. Y'all are completely right. So anyway, listen, you guys, I'm going to get back into this. I have a few more videos to put out. Let me get out of here and start making some videos, but thank you so much. And you guys, I promise tomorrow I'm going to do an actual full proper recap. Let me know in the comments whether you want me to start with episode 1, 2, 3, or 4. I will say this. I kind of feel like you can watch that documentary in perfect order, or you can jump around and it doesn't take anything away from the documentary if you jump around. So let me know what order you want me to start doing the recaps. Trina, what's up? Said I binged all 4 episodes too. I was so proud. Oh, thank you. Seeing you part 4. The documentary made me despise that demon more than I already did. Trina, first of all, thank you for being a member for 20 months. And I agree with you. By the time I was over, and y'all know I'm not a fan of Diddy, I said, I went too light on him. I was too forgiving. By the time it was over, I was like, I was too forgiving. I was too forgiving. You know what I'm saying? Listen, let me get out of here. I am working on I'm working on uh I'm working on oh, sorry, I just got a little tip. I'm working on see if I can get Kurt Burrows and a few people from you guys want me to start on episode 1. Okay. No, Diddy is not even handsome. Poet by purpose. I agree with you. I'm working on getting some guests. Even I'm not sure if I can get Kurt Burrows on, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. And don't worry, long form deep dives are coming. I might even post one tonight. Anyway, let me know or tomorrow morning, okay? Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I will talk to you later. Bye.